Hello brothers. Before the video begins, I must mention that there is an explanation at the end of the video for why I never like talking about DPS, and why you should also not use DPS as the sole measurement for performance for weapons in not just Space Marine 2, but video games in general. If you'd like to hear it or not, the timestamp will be in the description. I am going to explain once and for all why DPS is not a good metric for melee weapons. First, you cannot have half a swing as much as you can't have half a bullet, and melee attacks are far too slow to use second as a standard measurement. Let's say an attack that does 100 damage takes 1.5 seconds to deal its damage. Using 66.67 DPS doesn't provide meaningful information. Second, the time frame matters, but so does practical context. For example, let's say within 2 seconds I can make 3 attacks with weapon A, but weapon B can only get 2 attacks out. It stands to reason that weapon A will likely have better DPS in those 2 seconds. Yet, if weapon B can get its 3rd attack out at 2.1 seconds, you'll see that the DPS for 2.1 seconds instead will likely even out. Practically, weapon A and B might have very little difference, but that DPS calculated using the 2-second time frame would paint a totally incorrect picture. Third, DPS doesn't always reflect practical TTK accurately, because it assumes the perfect condition. You will never have the opportunity in a real game to swing non-stop at a warrior for 5 seconds. Inversely, it is extremely easy to two-shot a warrior using empowered block weapons, even in a real game. Fourth, DPS doesn't reflect breakpoint changes. For example, the DPS difference of 307 and 308 might not seem big, but the latter will actually allow you to finish off a warrior, whereas the previous one will require one more action to accomplish that. In that scenario, the time to kill will show significant difference due to the need for one less swing. In conclusion, DPS is too limiting of a metric. It is too reductionistic and doesn't really reflect how melee weapons perform. It is purely conjecture and shouldn't be the end-all be-all measurement for whether a weapon is good or not. While Space Marine 2 is not a game with the most complex melee system, there are still many factors aside from damage that should be considered when it comes to determining what makes a melee weapon good. Range, startup, recovery, cleave, hitbox pattern, moveset, ease of use, defense type, and even gimmicks, etc. are all equally important. Do not let one performance metric be the sole reason why you think a weapon is good or bad.